Alright guys, today we are going to be going over water holes, where I'm setting them, where I got them, you know, how I'm situating them and that kind of thing. Before I go over to the first one that I'm actually going to be putting in today, I wanted to show you the same food plot. If you watched my 5 beginner food plot mistakes, this is the same food plot. It's the Brassica blend from John Cobb at Northwoods Whitetail. But the reason I'm showing you this and I'm kind of intrigued is that I even asked John, and these are an annual blend, the Brassicas. It's kale, radish, turnip, rape, and everything was kind of dying out. It didn't really get all the way eaten, if you will. It's probably just a half-acre plot or so, but it's coming back, it seems like, in full force. And I am not the best at telling the difference between the 4 different types and stuff, but I'm kind of curious if you guys have experience with that, or maybe some of these are perennials, or maybe just the winter wasn't harsh enough, but it doesn't make sense to me. So let me know what you think. All right, we're at our water hole. You can see it right here. I think this is a Tough line. It's right here. Tough stuff. Oval tank, heavy duty, blah, blah, blah. It is 110 gallons. If you can see that, I got it at Tractor Supply. They also have, I think it's the Rubbermaid kind as well. This was almost half the price or something. I want to say 65 bucks. It can differ a little by area, but a nice big tank. You can see it's quite sturdy. It even has a plug in the corner there. Not that we're going to be needing that at all, but it is of course not in the ground yet. It weighs about 40 pounds. And it's nice and big. I think it'll hold water nicely once we get it in the ground. You can see this is for the most part just from rain, and already got some debris and a little friend here, a little slug it looks like. So you can tell nature's going to do its thing once it's in the ground. Now I want to show you kind of where we're at. If you can see the tree stand right up there, it is about 30 yards from here. So ideally maybe, could be a little closer just for ease of mind and things like that, but a 30-yard shot I think for people that are practicing isn't too bad at all, so I'll be happy with that. Now we are in basically the northwest corner, and right here where the ATV and the trailer is actually our access trail. It goes around the whole property to where hopefully we can maybe do a few more cuts. We have not really done hinge cuts in this area, so it looks a little bit like a mess, but I'm going to describe to you kind of what's going on. We're going to drop a few more, nothing too crazy because we don't want them bedding really on our access trail, but enough, it's almost good. Once the green comes up, it might be good enough as it is. I didn't really mean to make this kind of line with trees here. That was an accident, just taking trees off of the access and kind of, starting to pile them right there. So I might even need to cut a lane or two, but for the most part, it should shield us well coming around, getting into our stand, and then continuing along the northern border, if you will. Now, looking this way into the property, we have the water tank here. This is basically our deer travel corridor. Now, another reason why I wanted it here is because I really want deer to make the change in the angle to go from, bedding in our deer travel corridor that'll kind of meander this way to our next stand, and next stand and all the way around the property. But when they come this way, I really want them to turn the corner and go to our food plot trail. That's really only going to be maybe 100 or so yards that way. And again, so I haven't really hinged or cut some of the trees, but you can see there is a natural funnel here. I took a couple of the small things out, but there are flags hanging up right there because a natural funnel comes out into that field where our food plot trail. So I think it's going to work very nicely. And that's kind of one of the things I first wanted to mention is you definitely want to find a natural deer movement where they're going to be going kind of naturally, and then you kind of ease them, maybe clear a few things, and if you want, or it's not too thick already, hinge a couple trees to kind of guide them along the process. So with this tank being here, you can see I do need to clear up quite a bit of the brush over there to keep it going. You can't even really tell that it's a travel corridor, but it is. So we're going to go ahead and get this in the ground. I have a shovel, just some gloves, and a pickaxe because I think there will be some roots. And then I picked an area, and I'm going to probably chop up that log over there. But I picked an area where the deer should have some room, some room to turn around and proceed on and follow that travel corridor that we're setting up. One of the reasons also in getting these water holes into the ground in spring is also that natural rain that we're probably going to have. You know, I have a few 5-gallon buckets, but being 110 gallons, you know, that's 6 or whatever trips. I think I have 4 5-gallon buckets to get one of these filled. So if you have a couple, you can tell it's going to be a lot of work, and hopefully some of that natural you know, rain and runoff and whatnot will assist in getting these full and keeping them full. As you know, it definitely warms up. It's supposed to be like a high of 79 already, and it's beginning to mid-April. So also within a tree stand, like I said before, within shooting distance, whether it's a mock scraper or a watering hole within the tree stand, and a trail camera. We're probably going to put, you know, a camera on one of these trees, maybe not right now, but you know, at least when they start growing their antlers in a couple of months, or this summer or late summer even, would be perfectly fine. So we'll come back to this. We'll find out you know, if it's actually creating some of the movement that we want following the travel corridor, and you know, when they're actually drinking the water. Have learned a lot about, you know, deer's hydration and their thirst, and how that actually kind of peaks a lot during the rut when they don't have the green forage that they're getting most of their water from, which is kind of neat, I thought. But really interested in how these are going to work. We're going to have one also over in the northeast corner. If you saw the hinge cut video, I probably pointed that out to you there. But again, hoping they kind of make those corners and using them to continue the flow around the property along the deer corridor. So we got the first water hole done. Got the stick in there for some any critters to get out. Got 20 or so gallons of water. Gonna keep filling it up, and it looks good, nice and level. I'm gonna have to probably knock some of these dirt piles off to the side, but I think they'll settle a little, so they'll barely be there after a month or two, and I'll just kind of kick it around, and then we'll clean up our corridors, and hopefully this will be a nice corner with a little escape route in case they come through under the stand or something from the neighbor's property. So looking forward to it. More to come on that. I hope they work well, and stay tuned if you want to see how they do. Talk to you soon.